close to the mic here. Because I'm trying to figure out like the rain sounds thing. I have a book called DC's Finest, The Flash, the Human Thunderbolt, and basically it covers everything about Barry Allen from 1956 to 1961. And, I don't know if any of you have read this. I've only read a few issues from this, but it's really easy to read. It's really easy to get sucked into. I can definitely see why kids back then were so hooked on these. Honestly, they should be making comics like this again. You know what, I wonder if they still do. Technically, I'm new to comics. I'm a superhero fan, but technically not a comic book fan. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's get started. So far, the picture we have, as I open up this book, is the Flash running around the world. And as you see you can't see on the world map, a bunch of people are saying SOS, 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 all over Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Australia, anywhere really. Now let's read some things about the table of contents. The Mystery of the Human Thunderbolt. Showcase for September to October 1956. The Man Who Broke the Time Barrier. The Secret of the Empty Box. The Coldest Man on Earth. I don't know how far we're going to get into this video, but hopefully we'll get at least as far as those, since these are short. And this is a long table of contents, by the way. Quite a long one. Now, the mystery of the human thunderbolt. At a radar station on the East Coast. Now, what's so urgent, Sergeant? Look at the screen, sir. We've picked up a strange object, sir. Not a UFO, not an unidentified flying object. Beep, beep, beep. It's on the ground, traveling faster than anything known. Beep, beep, beep. Sir, look, it's just cracked the sound barrier, and its speed is increasing. Beep. What could it be? Nothing on Earth is as fast as that. Now, let's turn time back to a short while, when over Central City, an unexpected storm rages, electrical bolts striking jaggedly in all directions. While in the police laboratory, scientist Barry Allen chuckles over an old magazine. What a character Flash was, battling crime and injustice everywhere. And what a unique weapon he had against the arsenal of crime. Speed. Supersonic speed. Undreamed of speed. I wonder what it would really be like to be the fastest man on Earth. Well, I'll never know The Flash is just a character some writer dreamed up. Shortly as the scientist returns to a test he's making, every chemical known to science is here, sufficient to perform any experiment. Then, just then, the lab explodes with blinding light as a bolt of lightning strikes in. Crack! Long moments pass slowly as the dazed scientist comes to his senses. Lightning certainly is unpredictable. It knocked me over, but didn't scratch the cabinet. Then it smashed only certain of the chemicals, and gave me a bath in them. Still dazed, Barry Allen leaves for home. If I don't reach a cab before it leaves, it will be hard to find another one at this time of night. I'm too late. There it goes. But as the scientist sprints forward, a mysterious force rockets from him until his feet vibrate with eye-blurring speed. And in that same split second, he flashes past the taxi as if it were standing. What's happening to me? The puzzled scientist finally breaks to a stop. That lightning bolt must have shaken me up more than I realized to make me imagine that I raced past that speeding cab as if it were standing still. I think I'll sit down a bit at this diner. Inside the diner. Inside the diner as a waitress passes Barry. Oh, look out! Instinctively, shrinking from the falling objects, Barry is startled to see. Why, it looks as if it has stopped falling, as if they've stopped falling. It can't be hard to catch these things that are just hanging in the air as if their motion has stopped. There's a lot of food. It's just frozen in air, right? With immeasurable speed, the scientist's hands rocket at the food until he's catching all of the food in each plate and bowl and cup or whatever, right? As the fleet scientist returns the retrieved foods to the flabbergasted waitress. I mustn't be getting enough sleep. I'm beginning to see things. I could have sworn I had dropped everything. And you... No, it's impossible. Excuse me, sir. She isn't the only one who's seeing things. That lightning bolt tossed me around like a salad in a dressing of chemicals. I'd better go home and get a good night's sleep. By the next morning, the events of the preceding night seemed like a dream to Barry. If I didn't dream all that, then the only reason why I ran past the cab was because it stopped. And maybe that tray full of food only looked as if it were falling, and all I did was put my hand and to write it. Put up my hand to write it. Yes, that's it. And he's shaving his face with an electric razor. That's what the sound, the re sound is. Anyway, after work, the young scientist hurries to meet his date. Barry, you're always late. Why are you so slow? Sorry, Iris. I was checking some new chemicals that just came in, and suddenly, it's happening again. I'm seeing an impossible thing. A bullet heading straight for Iris. With a desperate lunge, the scientist hurls his lovely companion out of the way of the split second before. Splang! Barry, if you hadn't accidentally stumbled against me just before that stray bullet struck, I would have been hit. Glad you folks weren't hurt. That stray was fired by the Turtle Man, making a getaway. The Turtle Man? That's the criminal called the slowest man on Earth. Wait, he's thinking. Wait, no, I can't do the echo effect. I didn't do it for the last time. Maybe next time. There's no doubt. Later, Barry returns to the lab. There's no doubt of it now. By a freak accident caused by that lightning striking a strange combination of chemicals, I was drenched with a solution which must have changed my molecular structure. I am now the fastest man on Earth. There must be some way I can use this unique speed to help humanity. Oh my god, there's a train. The train scared me. It scared me, I'm sorry. There must be some way I can use this unique speed to help humanity. This gives me an idea. He's holding up a flash comic. Sometime later in the lab, the remote control hookup I fixed up with the alarm system at headquarters is paying off. It's signaling that the burglar alarm at the central bank has been tripped. Bzz, 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 bzz. Sorry, there's buzzing. I don't know how to do that in a pleasant ASMR way. Sorry. The scientist instantly presses his ring. A cover on it springs open and it works. The chemical solution is swelling the costume to life size, just like a rubber raft tossed out by Navy planes when crash landing. So I made like a tiny suit. Made like a little tiny suit. It's so cute. His fantastic speed enables the world's fastest human to race straight down the outside of the building. I'm going so fast, gravity has no effect on me. And thus, as the costumed scientist hurtles along the street, he cracks through the sound barrier and is picked up by a radar station. Crack! As he's running past, the radar station. An instant later, the human rocket flashes into Central Bank. The people still have their hands up. It looks like I've come in time to throw the roadblock against the robbery. To throw roadblock against the robbery. I'm sorry, I should have rehearsed. Actually, no. I'm not going to. No. There's the bank vault. Open. crooks must be inside. But the speedy scientist is astonished. Great thunder! The vault's empty. No one is here, and nothing has been touched. Questioning the hold-up victims reveals the identity of the criminal, the Turtle Man. For hours, the scientist paces the streets. Now, why should the turtle, the slowest man on Earth, go to all the trouble of attempting a hold-up and then stopping before completing it? Of course, that's it. Why didn't I think of it before? In the blink of an eye, Barry streaks towards the bank. The reason why the slowest man on Earth didn't complete the crime was that he was doing it in 2 stages. Second, after everyone is off guard, there he is. At eye-blurring speed, the scientist reaches out for the stationary villain, only to discover. He tricked me. This is just a painted silhouette, not a real shadow. So great is the human whirlwind speed, he bores through the solid brick wall like a gigantic drill as the Turtle Man taunts. He doesn't know I anticipated his return after I saw him enter the vault where I was hiding. I read it like that because it was written like that. By the time Barry regains his senses, I've got to watch myself. The Turtle Man is using my speed as a weapon against me. Looks like he went underground. Into the underground opening, the pursuing scientist drops. All these sewers empty out on the river. I'll catch up to him there. At mind-staggering speed, the human whirlwind rockets through the labyrinthine sewerways until there's the Turtle Man. He must be mad, thinking that he can escape in a slow-moving rowboat, using his hands to paddle. I'll catch up to him in this speedboat. As if he can't run across the water. I must remember to thank the owner of this speedboat for helping me capture the Turtle Man. Brrr. That's the speedboat sound. But as the speedboat lunges forward, this boat's sinking right under me. The Turtle Man must have booby-trapped it. I don't know, I'm just messing with the paper. The Scarlet Speedster quickly leaps out of the sinking boat, and I'm moving at such speed that my feet haven't time to sink into the water. I'll be up to the Turtle Man in a twinkling. But, tricked again! My own speed vibrations are pushing the rowboat beyond my reach. I can't catch it by running after it. That's what happens when the fastest man on Earth meets Where'd he disappear to? Since I can't capture the rowboat by running after it, I'll have to stop it by not running after it. And so then he goes around the boat. Circling at supersonic speed, the human hurricane creates a vortex. Help! I'll be glad to. Catching the dazed criminal, the speedy scientist rockets back to the river bank with him. You trick me. That's what happens when the world's slowest man meets the fastest man on Earth. As the newsmen who cover the waterfront excitedly interview Barry. You certainly captured that character in a flash, mister. What did you say your name was? You just said it. The Flash. Later, as the startling speedster returns to his secret identity. Read all about it. The Flash, fastest man in the world. How exciting would it be to meet a man like that? But I guess it's just an idle dream. Sometimes dreams come true, Iris. That's him talking to his girl. Anyway, they have this little segment at the end here. The fastest creatures on Earth. Although the cheetah cops the laurels of Speed King of the animal world, sprinting 70 miles an hour over 100-yard distance. This 60 miles an hour pronghorn antelope can outrun the cheetah in a longer race. The fastest flying bird is the duckhawk, the American peregrine falcon, which swoops down on its prey at the speed of 180 miles an hour. Of the non-flying birds, the rhea is the fastest surface runner, 40 miles an hour. Then there's this little ad at the bottom. Wild root cream oil gives you confidence. Confidence begins with a smart, successful appearance, which naturally means well-groomed hair. Wild root cream oil gives you confidence because it keeps you looking your best. It helps you make the right impression in any situation. Keeps hair handsome and healthy looking the way nature intended. Neat but not greasy. Get Wild Root Cream Oil, America's largest selling hair tonic. And so that is the end of the first one. It was mandatory to read the ad. Oh yeah, and it's also non-alcoholic as well. I don't think it exists anymore. But yeah, though, honestly, that was a good read. Genuinely, people always make fun of the Silver Era, but that is just genuinely an incredibly enjoyable thing. Oh wait, I forgot about this other thing. The wonders of speed. Faster an object travels, the more its mass increases until, at the speed of light, 186,000 miles a second, its mass becomes infinite and the object can't move at all. As an object approaches the speed of light, it contains its length contracts. Speed of spaceship Speed of spaceship. 25,000 miles an hour. Contraction. 4 and 1,000th inch. 4 and 1,000th inch. Yeah, that's what it says. A fourth of 1,000. No. Speed of spaceship. You know what? I'm just not gonna read that. I don't know what's up with me today. You know what? I will. The Earth revolves around the sun at a speed of 18.5 miles a second. Should the Earth suddenly stop, or its diameter would decrease by 2.5 inches. Time passes more slowly the faster one moves. A spaceship traveling with 90% of the speed of light would make a round trip between Earth and the star Procyon. 10.4 light years distance from Earth, but spaceship passengers complete their voyage that would have only lasted 3 years. Because in 21 years, 21 years, but to the passenger it's only 3. 21 years on Earth, but sorry, I'm reading in the dark, so. My wife and son. I was 21 years old when I left for Procyon, and he was only 3. Now, we're both the same age, 24. That's so fucked up. But anyway, there's the next story. So, yeah, we're only gonna have time for 2 stories, aren't we? Now, the second story we are reading is The Man Who Broke the Time Barrier. Alright. One morning, as Henry Brown switches on his electric shaver, I'd better hurry if I'm going to get to work on time. Luckily, it doesn't take me long to shave. Amazingly, the next moment, my shaver, it's flying out of my hand. Psst. Soon after, as a television serviceman replaces a worn-out tube. This new tube will... Hey, something's yanked it out of my hand. Meanwhile, at the police station, and when I opened up my car hood to check the oil, the generator popped out and flew away. That mystery thief again. In the police laboratory, Barry Allen of the Scientific Detection Bureau is engaged in an experiment. Strange about those puzzling thefts and the mysterious way the objects were stolen. Suddenly, great thunder, the breaker into which I was pouring, the beaker into which I was pouring my solution is gone. Breaker. I'm so bad at reading out loud. With startling speed, the young scientist whirls. Who's that? Someone going out? I'd better see who that is. I better see who that is. At super speed. Why am I doing readings if I'm so bad at doing it? Oh well. As Barry Allen touches the ring on his finger, the cover snaps open and the colorful uniform
was ejected, expanding instantly. And in less time than it takes to name him, Flash appears. First, the chemical solution I was pouring vanishes, this beaker and all. Then, an unknown figure slips out of the lab. I've got to get after him. A split second later, in a side street nearby, there he is. Someone's coming after me. As the fastest man alive darts at his target, shooting rings at me. But darts after his target, shooting rings at me. Rings of intense heat. The rings are getting hotter and hotter, just like flame. The red rings are the least hot, and the yellow ones are hotter, and the blue-white are the hottest of all. Spinning around with incredible speed, Flash creates a wind that cools off the rings and lifts them skyward. While I was avoiding the barrage of heat rings, the amazing thief who shot them at me escaped. Man, I'm having a rough day. I'm recording this a few days after the first story, so bear with me. I haven't read this second one in a couple of days, so shortly at the outskirts of the city. I've got to be more careful from now on. I've never dreamed I'd come up against anyone with such speed of motion in this primitive 20th century. More than ever, now I must get back to my own time and gain my revenge. I remember my last moments in my own era so clearly. I was standing on the capsule platform, and the judge was reading my sentence. And the judge was reading my sentence. And the court found you an incorrigible thief, Mazdan. Therefore, you are to be exiled into the future via time capsule. Your prison will be the Earth of the 50th century, a desolate planet. No prison, whatever or wherever is. It is. No prison. I'm sorry. No prison, whatever or wherever it is, can hold me. I'll be back someday, somehow, and beat the law. The time capsule was closed and fired. A shock of tremendous vibration went through me inside of it. But somehow, by a freakish accident, the capsule did not go forwards in time, but backwards into the past, to this crude 20th century. With the help of my magnetic rod, I've stolen the object. I need to propel the time capsule back into the future. Now, I have to strengthen the capsule's shielding metal with gold. Gold is a soft metal. Gold is a soft metal, so it's a weird choice. Anyway, let's continue. Soon after, the time exile approaches a bank. I remember from ancient history books that the people in this age sometimes kept their gold in banks. Like this one. It's closed, but that won't stop me. Moments later, as a frantic policeman telephones headquarters. Send help! There's a guy blasting his way into the bank on Clover Street. Fuck. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't get near him. At the police headquarters, as the sergeant reports what was happening. And the weapon he was carrying shoots off rings of heat. Rush right over to the Clover Street Bank. Rings of heat. Seconds later, a flashing figure streaks across the city. That description fits the strange thief who escaped from me earlier that day. I'll reach the bank before he can get away. There he is, and this time he's heating. This time, his heat rings won't stop me from capturing him. The Scarlet Speedster! I am so sorry for all my reading mistakes. It is not good, but I'm leaving it in for content. As the deadly heat rings fly at Flash, it's always the coolest at the center of a flame, and should be true of these rings too. Besides, traveling at super speed, the heat hardly affects me. Then, past the last ring. Now, it's my turn to put the heat on you in jail. Now it's my turn to put the heat on you in jail. I am so sorry. Later, at police headquarters, imprisoning me in this primitive barred cell. Ha ha! They stripped me of all my possessions, but they didn't know I wear special contact eye lens, which I can put to good use here. As Mazda directs his lens at the overhead electric light, my chemically treated lens magnifies that electric light's heat enough to melt. Magnifies that electric light's heat enough to melt the metal lock on this door. Man, I should have rehearsed this. But I don't want to. I didn't want to. I'm not doing retakes. Soon after, Sergeant, that strange weapon and the gold we took from the prisoner is gone. So is he. So is he. In the lab, the scientist Barry Allen hears the news. A thief who can melt cell door locks is too dangerous to remain at large. They've got to catch him again as the Flash. My foe seems to have all sorts of mastery over heat, and that will be the means I'll use to track him down. At super speed, I can detect the slightest differences in temperature. Wherever he went, there are traces of raised temperature in the objects he passed. With amazing sensitivity, the world's fastest man follows the trail of heat. he crossed the intersection. The heat coming from the bridge railing. The trail's getting hotter. Shortly at the city's outskirts, there he is, in that strange gold-coated projectile. I've got to get to him before he can close that door. With a burst of super speed, the human hurricane reaches his quarry. Let go! Not until you tell me who you are and where you come from. Shortly, as the trapped thief, he from the future tells his story. So you see, it's to your interest to let me return to my own age. I'll never come back to bother you or your civilization again. And swiftly, Flash's keen scientific mind probes the secrets of the time vehicle. Your time capsule works by heat, tremendous heat. When you take off, the resultant blast will be great. So the resultant blast will be great. Bad day. Yes, it will blast out a crater at least 10 miles in diameter. Didn't you give any thought to the people who live in that area? They'll all be killed. Only a few thousand, hardly important. I consider them important, Marsden. And to make sure no one is harmed, I'm going to take you back to your future era. Without a time capsule? Impossible. Not with my super speed. Traveling fast enough, close to the speed of light, I can set up vibrations that will project our bodies into the future. This racetrack that's not being used right now is a good place. This racetrack that's not being used right now is a good place for me to get up speed. Here we go. It's Flash. As the speed of the world's fastest human swiftly increases, he's just a blur. Look, he's fading out of sight. Then the rate of the champion speedsters hits a certain level. Then as the rate of the champion speedster hits a certain level. I did it! We're passing through the mists of time. Suddenly, the future time track. A roadblock appears. Hard going this must be. Time barrier some scientists theorize about. Marsden didn't notice it coming to our era because he was traveling the other way. With every urge of his super speed, need energy, Flash battles the time barricade, like running on a treadmill, hardly moving forward at all. Faster, gyrate the Flash's legs till finally I broke through the time barrier. Crack! Shortly in Marsden's era. And so, to see the justice done, I have brought Marsden back to his court, Your Honor. When we put him in the time capsule again, we'll make sure that he travels into the future where he belongs. Good. Then I'll be on my way. Then another super spurt of speed. Flash is slowing down. We can see him again. Strange. It seems hours to me since I left here, but Actually, our clocks must... But actually, our clocks... It must be only a moment that I was gone. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry how bad this is. The police laboratory, sometime afterward. You know, Barry, weeks have gone by and not another case of those strange robberies. I guess the thief was caught and serving time somewhere. So, that... I like that. That was some good shit. I don't know what else to... How do I fill in for time here? Because this is like... This whole thing is like supposed to be like 50 minutes, dude. But yeah, I plan on doing more of these. Always 2 at a time. Just going to fill in the last few moments of just chatting here. I don't have water on me to sip, so I got a bit of dry mouth right now. I am assuming that you are asleep by this point. Hopefully your dreams are of the Flash, or maybe you were reading along with me. But yeah, that is, these books are great, and I mean, I guess it's all, I have just a bunch of Flash books in one big old book, 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 pickle book, pickle book, pickle book, pickle book, pickle book. It sounds like pickle book when I say big old book. Fast enough, big old book, 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 pickle 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 book. Oh, that's a, oh my goodness, that could be a good trigger. Pickle book, pickle book, pickle book, pickle book, pickle book, pickle book, pickle book. Yeah, I think I'll make it a series reading 2 Flash books, 2 Flash issues, per video, with a nice little gif here. I could do that with my other comics. I only have a few. I've always been a superhero fan, but I haven't become a comic book fan. Not truly. I'm trying to be a comic book fan because I'm getting comics and mangas, and I don't know. It's weird, even though like I hear a lot of like bad things about comics these days. I'm like more inspired to read like comics, like